on the spool cable, the question is the occupied space, does it get compromised? It allows up to 10 inches of deformation under U.S. standard. On the European standard, there was less than an inch of deformation. It passed with flying colors. We then tested it against a truck. And the truck test is you will hit a truck with a certain description at 30 miles an hour. We didn't know the answer, to be honest with you. It was quite a roll of the dice. The U.S. equipment obviously passed. The European equipment passed too. And so we decided to be a little cocky, and we increased the speed to 50 miles an hour. The European equipment passed. So we said, what the heck? 70 miles an hour. The European equipment passed. It exceeds what we had in the United States. We brought this to the FRA, and they brought the lawyers in the room. Are you saying we're unsafe out there? I said, no. We're just saying there's another way of designing equipment, crash energy management, that is safer and is ahead of us, and we want to bring it into the United States. And what the head of the group said, the guy who owns the book, he stood up in front of his own people and he said to us, if your data is correct, and if you continue the process you currently have, we will give you permission to run mixed traffic on your railroad. They didn't say no, they said yes. We are going back now with another set of tests. We're going back now with a whole set of grade crossing improvements. We're going to go back with a whole set of signal improvements. We have a description document for that that's out there right now that's being circulated within the industry for comment. We're going to go back to them and we're going to say, first of all, we think grade crossings is no longer an issue. The second thing we're going to do is do the performance spec for the signal system. And our assumption is, and by the way, we're helping them write our permission to do this. We're not waiting on them. We're actually writing the outline and filling it in now. We have done a gap analysis, and the gap analysis in this case is the difference between the current body regulation and what we need changed. Most of things do not have to be changed. There's only 3 major categories where we actually have to have changes. And we're already identified those, and we're going to sit down with them. So we're really getting to it. When I proposed this to you, I actually thought maybe we had about a 25% chance. I would tell you right now, we are probably closing in on a 90% chance that the FRA will allow us to do it on this railroad. I said to you at the closing of my other presentation that now is the time, and this is the place to change an industry. It's the truth. We are getting recognition all the way across the United States of what we're doing because others want it. Now here's the tab. This is a year of expenditure. Ian showed you this number up here. To increase and put in a full tab signal system with everything I'm talking about, all the communication, all the controls for electrification, in year of expenditure dollars, that's what you got. We have to replace rolling stock. We need 98 new vehicles on our seat-for-seat replacement program. It's pretty expensive, but what we're looking at is the matching number of 80% because it is a fleet replacement program. And then we put in a general number for project management for all the program because Ian brought it up. You have to be able to integrate these systems properly. Now, it's not a huge technical issue, but it is a management issue where you have to make sure absolutely everything ties together at the end of the day. Here's what you'll end up with by 2015. Electrified railroad, signal to 12 trains an hour. That provides slots, by the way, for others. Grade crossing 3 times safer, and in some cases, by the way, 12 times safer. There's a few that have improved that much. We'll be able to run mixed traffic on this railroad, and we'll have the highest achievable safety rating. Now, one other element. When we went to the FRA, they asked us to team up with high-speed rail on these issues because high-speed rail has to answer these same questions. We are setting the technology requirements for high-speed rail by what we're doing here today. And that has to do with bringing in international equipment. And oh, by the way, one of the vendors actually said to us, how would you like us to do the manufacturing of the vehicle in the United States? Now you're talking about something that boosts the economy in a whole new way, because there are no cars built in the United States. And they have offered to do something like that. You say, well, that may be a pipe dream. I did it in Korea. I set it up for the Korean government. They're now selling to LA. We set up an indigenous industry in Korea under a contract. It can be done. It has been done. So that's another thing to think about, because that's a pretty good plum for the state. take the moderate growth projection, you're talking about an extreme escalation of ridership. This is what I call my pull model. That tracks what we have experienced today versus what we've modeled. So the range of possibilities is quite large, but let's look at what it really means. We're going to have to add rolling stock to get there, beyond the 98 cars. We're going to have to add some type of maintenance facility because the current steam off will be too small. We're going to have to improve the terminals under phase 3 to get above 6 trains an hour. Actually, 8 trains an hour is the break point. When you get 8 trains an hour, you got to have those fixed. We're going to have some form of improved level boarding. It could be an extended mini-hour. We just don't know the regulation. And we're going to have to improve the station access. But most importantly is this. Your cost per passenger goes down. We got tables galore on running this out in various scenarios. The cost of operating the system on a per passenger basis starts decreasing because you're more efficient, you're handling more people on fewer equipment with fewer crews. So your costs start decreasing on a per passenger basis. This is the best possible. You can't do that because we don't have a way to get there. I think I have a number for what it is today. If you use today's model, it's $3.28 per passenger versus $2. That's a huge difference in the bottom line in what you have to support. More and more and more comes out of your revenue. Your curve operation will start going up to where they belong. Valuable to need, we grow the system as demand requires. You don't have to do it ahead of time and have empty cars. It's definitely the best return on investment for the reasons we talked about. We have detail behind that. The ease of implementation is it doesn't take your system apart to put the new system in. You do it over what you have out there. You don't replace what you have out there. It is high-speed rail compatible, which is a requirement. By the way, FRA sees our train control system as their answer to something called positive train control. They have had an experiment going nationwide, and they fall on their face every time because they've made it too complicated. We're simple. And so they're looking at us to help them resolve that problem. And it is a pilot program for the entire United States. And we did a presentation on APTA. It was the second highest attended presentation on all of APTA because people are really interested in this. And what you really end up with at the end of the day, for the first time ever, you get commuter rail performance, but you get rapid transit performance on a commuter rail infrastructure. Never been done. Never been done in the United States. And then what's the next step? We got to go back to the FRA. We got to keep going. We're on a very aggressive path to working cooperatively. We got to broaden the outreach to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing. In fact, we haven't been to you. We're a little bit behind the curve because we've been talking to some others. And we got to develop a funding strategy. It is now the critical path. We thought the regulation would be, we thought the equipment would be, we thought the unions might be. We're now down to the basics. And what do you end up with? I keep looking at that picture and I sort of have a dream of what it might look like. But you know what? If we don't get support, it's not going to happen. And we'll be right where we are today. Or maybe we won't. That's what we could have by 2015.
Thanks, Bob. Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure how you want to proceed from here.